The Taliban has finalized their new government in Afghanistan nearly a fortnight after their violent takeover of Afghanistan. A Shura or a religious council will control and run the executive power of the nation, according to a top Taliban source. The Shura will comprise of Taliban elders and other ethnic groups, and women will not be the part of this council, the source said. The executives of this council will lead the government, and Mullah Abdul Ghani brother is likely to be the head of the political office, the Taliban source added, saying that 80% of this government will be from the Doha Taliban team. Since 2010, senior Taliban leaders have been stationed in Doha, Qatar. The original intention was to build an office to foster political reconciliation between Taliban, the Afghan government, the United States, and other countries. Following the opening of Taliban office building in 2013, peace talks were halted due to a protest from Afghan government that the office was being presented as an embassy for a government in exile. In a desperate bid to flee the country, many Afghan women were forced into marriage inside the evacuation camps outside the Kabul airport so that they can easily become eligible for evacuation. The US State Department was alerted. According to reports, the practice was brought into notice of US diplomats who have also alerted UAE over the issue. The reports said that some families even paid men eligible for evacuation in thousands of dollars. Some men were approached only to pose as husbands for women to flee, the report said. This has triggered concerns over possibility of human trafficking flourishing around the evacuation from Kabul. The Supreme Court on Friday gave the government time till September 11 to file a compliance report on a June 30th order directing it to frame guidelines for issuing death certificates and paying compensation to the families of those who have died of COVID-19. The court was disinclined to grant the 10 days the central government sought. It pointed out that significant period has passed since its last order and said that unless steps were taken immediately, the third wave too would have passed and the government would face even bigger challenge. In June, the court ruled that the families of those who died from COVID should get financial compensation and gave the National Disaster Management Authorities 6 weeks to decide on the amount and frame the required guidelines. The Drug Controller General of India granted approval to Biological E for 2 clinical trials of its COVID-19 vaccine candidate, Cobevax, the central government announced on Friday. With this, the homegrown drug maker can begin mid-stage studies of its COVID-19 vaccine in children and adolescents, according to an official statement. The Indian regulator on 1st September gave the approval to Hyderabad-based pharmaceutical firm to conduct phase 2 and 3 clinical trials for its anti-COVID shot called Cobevax on children between 5 and 18 years of age with certain conditions. Actor and model Siddharth Shukla's last ride was held in Mumbai on Friday afternoon. His close friend Shehnaz Gill and other Bigg Boss colleagues such as Ashim Riaz, Aarti Singh, Rashmi Desai and Nikki Thamboli attended the funeral at the Oshiwara crematorium. A visibly emotional Shehnaz Gill, who was very close to Siddharth Shukla, arrived at the funeral with her brother Shehbaz. Initial reports suggested that Siddharth Shukla had suffered a heart attack. Mumbai's Cooper Hospital, where he was taken, conducted the post-mortem last evening.
Subscribe to Oneindia channel and never miss an update.